I am 58 years old, and I have survived 3 heart attacks. 3. Not because I'm tough, not because God has some plan for me. I survived because modern medicine is very, very good at keeping fools alive. It's 5 in the morning right now. Kitchen's dark except for the light over the stove. This is the hour I used to wake up. For 26 years, 5 a.m. meant shower, shave, highway, office. My body still does it. Still jolts me awake like there's somewhere important I need to be. There isn't. Not anymore. There hasn't been for over a year now. A minute ago, I opened the junk drawer next to the refrigerator. The one with the batteries and the takeout menus and the rubber bands. And sitting right there, underneath a phone charger I don't even use anymore, I found it. My old desk nameplate. You know the kind. Fake wood base. Gold lettering. My name. My title. Director of Operations. It's cracked right down the middle. Split diagonally like someone took it and just snapped it. I don't even remember how it broke. Maybe I threw it. Maybe it fell when I was packing my things. Doesn't matter. It's in 2 pieces now, just like the life I built around it. I held it in my hands and I swear I could hear the beeping. That steady mechanical beeping of a heart monitor. Once you've heard it enough times, once you've woken up to that sound 3 separate times, wondering if this is the last thing you'll ever hear, it never leaves you. It just lives in the back of your skull, waiting for a quiet moment. I need to tell you something, and I need you to hear it clearly. I am not unlucky. I was not cursed. I was not dealt a bad hand. I volunteered for this. Every single bit of it. And I need you to understand that before I tell you the rest. Because if you think what happened to me was just fate, you'll walk away from this having learned nothing. And I can't have that. Not anymore. Not with what it cost me. Back in my 30s and 40s, I was a machine. I say that without any pride now, but back then, oh, I wore it like a crown. First one in the building every morning, last car in the parking lot every night. I'd pull into that lot when it was still dark and leave when it was dark again. I saw more sunrises through an office window than I ever saw from my own backyard. I had a corner office, real one, not a cubicle they just put a door on. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a view of the skyline, a coffee machine that cost more than some people's rent, and my nameplate sat on the front of my desk like a throne marker. Director of Operations. I'd look at it every morning when I sat down, and I'd feel something. Purpose, power, proof that I mattered. The whole place smelled like stale coffee and printer toner. That chemical dry smell that sticks to your clothes and your skin. My wife used to say I brought the office home with me every night. She meant the smell. She also meant everything else. I believed a lie. I want you to understand how deeply I believed it, because it ran my entire life. The lie was this: if I stop, everything falls apart. I am the engine. I am the one holding it together. Without me, the projects fail, the clients leave, the revenue drops. I am irreplaceable. I believe that the way some people believe in God. completely, without question, without evidence. And because I believed it, I made choices. I skipped my daughter's piano recital when she was 9 because there was a client dinner. I missed her 12th birthday because I was in Phoenix for a conference that could have been an email. My wife would put dinner on the table at 7, and I'd walk in at 9:30, and when she'd look at me with that quiet anger, I'd say, "You think this house pays for itself?" Like she was the unreasonable one. Like she was the one who didn't understand what sacrifice meant. I chased promotions like they were oxygen. Every rung on that ladder, I needed it. Not wanted it, needed it. I'd argue with colleagues over territory, over credit, over who got mentioned in the quarterly review. I sent emails at midnight and felt pride, not shame, pride, like it proved something about my character. I remember one Thanksgiving, my daughter was maybe 14. She asked me to help her with a school project after dinner. I said yes. Then my phone buzzed. A VP needed a report revised. And I got up from the table, walked to my home office, and I didn't come back out for 4 hours. When I finally did, the kitchen was clean, the house was dark, and everyone was asleep. And I told myself they'd understand, that one day they'd see what I was building for them. Now I take 7 pills every morning. 7. I line them up on the kitchen counter like little soldiers. Blood thinners, beta blockers, statins, a little white one for anxiety that I never would have admitted I needed 10 years ago. I can't climb a flight of stairs without stopping halfway to let my heart settle down. My chest gets tight when the weather changes, like the scar tissue is reminding me it's still there. That arrogance I carried, that absolute certainty that I was the center of the machine, it fed something that never loved me back. Not once, not for a single second. The first heart attack came when I was 49. I was at my desk. It was a Tuesday, 2:15 in the afternoon. I felt this tingling in my left arm, and my jaw started to ache, and there was this pressure in my chest like someone had parked a car on my ribs. And you know what I did? I finished the quarterly report. I'm not joking. I sat there, sweat rolling down my temples, my left hand going numb, and I finished typing the report because the deadline was 3 o'clock. Then I saved it, emailed it to my manager, and then I drove myself to the emergency room, drove myself, because I didn't want to make a scene, because I didn't want anyone at the office to worry, because I thought I'd be back at my desk by Thursday. The doctor told me I was lucky. He said the blockage was significant, but they caught it. He told me to slow down, reduce stress, change my diet. I nodded. I agreed with everything he said. And 6 weeks later, I was back at my desk, working the same hours, drinking the same coffee, telling myself it was a fluke. The second heart attack came when I was 53. This one happened in a conference room. I was in a shouting match with a vice president named Don over budget cuts. We were standing on opposite sides of a long table, and I was pointing at a spreadsheet, and my voice was getting louder, and I remember the fluorescent lights above me were buzzing. That low electrical hum that every office has. And then the room tilted, the spreadsheet blurred, My legs gave out and I went down hard. My shoulder hit the table on the way to the floor. I remember lying there on the thin corporate carpet, staring up at those fluorescent tubes, and the buzzing was the only sound in the room. Nobody moved, not right away. 6 people in that conference room, people I'd worked beside for years, and for a few seconds nobody moved. They just stared, like they were watching something inconvenient happen, like I was a printer jam. Someone finally called 911. They put me on a stretcher and wheeled me through the same hallways I used to walk through like I owned them, past my office, past my nameplate, past the break room where people were probably already whispering about what happened. I remember the smell of the carpet cleaner and the faint sound of someone's radio playing down the hall. And I remember thinking even then, even being wheeled out on a stretcher, I wonder who's going to handle the budget meeting on Friday. That's how sick I was, not in my heart, in my head. 1 week after the second attack, while I was still in a hospital bed, with tubes in my arm and monitors beeping, the company filled my position. 1 week. They sent out an email to the department. I know because a colleague forwarded it to me, not to be cruel, just because he thought I should know. The email announced my replacement. It was sandwiched between a reminder about the holiday parking schedule and an update about the vending machines on the 3rd floor. 26 years. And I sat between parking and vending machines. The 3rd heart attack was the one that finally broke through. I was 57, alone. My wife had left 4 years earlier. My daughter lived across the country and called maybe once a month. Polite conversations that felt like speaking to a customer service representative. Pleasant, efficient, empty. I was in my apartment walking from the bathroom to the kitchen, and it hit me like a freight train. I went down on the linoleum floor, hard, cold floor against my cheek. I could taste copper in my mouth. My phone was on the kitchen counter, maybe 8 feet away, and I couldn't move. I couldn't reach it. All I could hear was the refrigerator humming. That low, constant drone. No voices, no footsteps, no one calling my name. Just the refrigerator doing its job in an empty apartment while I lay on the floor wondering if this was it. The silence was the cruelest sound I've ever heard because it told me the truth. It told me exactly what I'd built, exactly what all those late nights and missed dinners and sacrificed birthdays had actually produced. An empty apartment, a cold floor, and nobody coming. A neighbor found me 40 minutes later. She heard a thump through the wall and came knocking. If she'd had her television on a little louder, I'd be dead. That's the margin. That's what 26 years of irreplaceable, indispensable dedication bought me. Survival by the thickness of a wall and the volume of a television set. That nameplate sits on my kitchen table now. I pulled it out of the drawer and just set it there. I can't throw it away. I've tried. I've held it over the trash can 3 times, and I can't let go. But I can't display it either. It's not a trophy. It's an autopsy report. It's proof that I gave everything to a place that replaced me with a paragraph in a company email. My chest scar itches when it gets cold outside. Every winter, that raised line of tissue tightens and pulls and reminds me it's there. It's funny, in the darkest possible way. The scar is the most loyal thing that came out of that job. The company didn't stay. The title didn't stay. The corner office didn't stay. But the damage stayed. The damage is faithful. The damage shows up every single day. Evenings are the hardest. I used to fill every hour with meetings, conference calls, crisis management. Now the hours just sit there, empty and wide open, and there's nothing to put in them. I eat dinner alone. I hear the clock on the wall. I hear every single tick, and each one sounds like a small accusation. You wasted me. You wasted me. You wasted me. My daughter calls sometimes. We talk for maybe 15 minutes. She asks how I'm feeling. I say fine. She tells me about her work. I say that sounds good. And then we run out of things to say, because we never built the vocabulary for anything deeper. I did that. I made her a stranger. She didn't leave me. I was never there to be left. I was always at the office, earning a nameplate that's now sitting on my kitchen table in 2 pieces. The void isn't dramatic. That's what nobody tells you. It's not some cinematic breakdown with rain on a window. It's Tuesday afternoon with nothing to do. It's a refrigerator humming in a quiet apartment. It's realizing that you traded every warm, living thing in your life for a title, and the title is sitting cracked in a drawer, and the warm things are gone, and you did it to yourself. Every single bit of it. Now I'm talking to you. Yes, you. The one watching this right now. I see you. I know exactly who you are because I was you. You're the one checking your phone under the dinner table right now. You're the one who told your kid, "Not now, buddy. Daddy's got a work call." You're the one who canceled date night last Friday and the Friday before that. You're answering emails at 11 p.m. and telling yourself it's temporary. Telling yourself you'll slow down next quarter, next year, after the promotion, after the raise, after. Let me tell you what comes after. A hospital ceiling, a cold floor, a nameplate in a drawer that nobody cares about, including the company that gave it to you. No one is going to eulogize your overtime. Nobody at your funeral is going to stand up and say, "He never missed a deadline." Your company's condolence card will be signed by someone in HR who can't spell your last name. They will post your job opening before the flowers on your desk have wilted. That is not pessimism. That is a fact. I lived it 3 times. You want to know what stress really is? Stress isn't dedication. Stress isn't hustle. Stress isn't grinding. Stress is self-destruction with a salary attached. It's poison you swallow every morning and call it coffee. Your heart is keeping score even when you're not. Every argument you didn't need to have. Every weekend you gave away. Every time you chose the office over the people who actually love you. Your heart wrote it down. And one day it hands you the bill. and the bill is everything. So here's what you're going to do. Tonight you're going to leave work on time. I don't care what's on your desk, it'll be there tomorrow. Tonight you go home. You sit at the table. You look at the people who are still there and you be there with them. Call the person you've been too busy for. Say the thing you've been putting off. Not next week. Tonight, because I am 58 years old. I have a cracked nameplate, a chest full of scar tissue, and an apartment so quiet I can hear my own heartbeat. And let me tell you something, that is not the life you want. Don't you dare end up like me.